3 races to go in the regular season, 3 different tracks, but this time around the NASCAR Cup Series heads up north to the Great Lakes state of Michigan. About an hour away from the home of automobiles in America in Detroit sits a racetrack that oozes speed and horsepower and has become the fastest track in the circuit that will see cars hit speeds in excess of 200 miles per hour. This is a key race for the likes of Ford, Chevrolet, and Toyota to really see who is the fastest, but it's also a key race for the elite stars of NASCAR, specifically the playoff drivers trying to fight their way in the top 16 to have a shot at competing for a title. Welcome to MDK Race Day as we welcome you to the Michigan International Speedway in Brooklyn, Michigan for the running of the FireKeepers Casino 400. The temperature here in Brooklyn, Michigan is not looking pretty. Temperature in the mid to high 70s, but look at that chance of rain around 84%. It could vary depending on where we are throughout the day. There is a good chance that this race could be delayed in some way due to rain. High wind 12 miles an hour northwest through the racetrack with a high percentage of humidity sitting at 77 degrees. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the episode of MDK Race Day. My name is Jet. Hope you're having a wonderful day as we get you set and ready. 3 races to go in the regular season here at Michigan. Now, of course, though, coming into Michigan, the big story is what took place last week. Let's flash back to what happened last Sunday night here at Richmond. Austin Dillon drove in into turns 3 and 4, taking out Joe Logano, and then offering a 2-for-1 deal in turn number 4, taking out Denny Hamlin as well on top of that to go on to win for the first time since Daytona in August of 2022, and originally logged the number 3 car as the 13th entry in the NASCAR playoffs. However, penalties on Wednesday from NASCAR removed all of that. This is what NASCAR stated on what the penalty will be for the 3 car as well as the 22 car. Joe Logano has been fined $50,000 that he has said he has already paid off right away to NASCAR. Didn't bother appealing whatsoever due to his actions on pit road where he gassed the throttle and did a little burnout right in front of the family members of Austin Dillon due to frustration. However, Austin Dillon got even a harsher penalty. Austin Dillon's spotter has been suspended for the next 3 races due to him saying on the radio, "Wreck the 22, wreck him, wreck him." Brett Griffin will replace him during that time frame. On top of that, the 3 car has been docked 25 driver and owner points, but the big thing is the win. The win, which would have counted, which would have put Austin Dillon in the playoffs, has been revoked, meaning that although the win does count in the record books, he will not be able to make the playoffs with that win. So if Austin Dillon wants to have a shot at winning or making the playoffs, he has to win Michigan, Daytona, or Darlington these next 3 weeks. Richmond would not count, and neither would the playoff points count. So because of that, this is what the playoff grid looked like before Dillon's penalty. Austin Dillon being the 13th entry, Martin Truex Jr. 14th, plus 78, Gibbs at plus 19, then Bubba Wallace had the final spot, plus 3 ahead of Chris Buescher and Ross Chastain, with Chase Briscoe and Kyle Busch ran out the top 20. However, this is what the grid looks like now following the penalty. Truex now back again as the 13th spot, but Bubba Wallace, although he is still plus 3, he is no longer the final spot. That goes to Chris Buescher, who is tied with Ross Chastain, Chase Briscoe minus 99 at 18th, Kyle Busch minus 119 and 19th, and Tyler Gillen back in the top 20 minus 130. And Austin Dillon, if you want to know with Austin Dillon, he remains back in the 31st position now, minus 460 points below the points leader. Speaking of the points leader, the NASCAR top 10, things are heating up with the top 4. Kyle Larson still remains top of the board. Reddick now jumps to second, 5 points behind. Elliott minus 6, and Denny Hamlin minus 21. That top 4 is getting ever so tight as we head into the final race of the regular season at Darlington in 3 weeks' time. Ryan Blaney in 5th, minus 77. Christopher Bell up 2 spots, minus 78. Byron and Truex down a spot each, 101 for Byron, 117 for Truex. Keselowski minus 143, and Alex Bowman 164 points behind in 10th place. Now let's take a look at the starting lineup for the 2024 FireKeepers Casino 400. Due to qualifying being rained out, Denny Hamlin inherits the pole and will lead the field of green for the 2nd week in a row. Sitting alongside is a driver that finished 3rd to him last weekend at Richmond, his driver Tyler Reddick in the McDonald's Toyota. Row 2 has Christopher Bell and his dirt racing rival Kyle Larson in the 5 car sitting in Row 2. Row 3 has Bubba Wallace trying to continue his momentum so far these past few weeks, sitting alongside Chase Elliott in the 9 car. Row 4 has Ross Chastain in the Busch Light Pete Chevrolet, sitting alongside the 2019 Michigan winner Ryan Blaney in the 12 car, with William Byron and Austin Dillon rounding out the top 10. Row 6 has rookie Carson Hocevar and Daniel Suarez in the 99 car. Row 7 has Kyle Busch, who won here back in 2011, sitting alongside Joe Logano, who won here back in 2013. Row 8 has Brad Keselowski, the Michigan native, still looking for his first win here at this racetrack in the Cup Series, sits alongside rookie Josh Berry. Row 9 has Michael McDowell and the defending race winner here from Michigan last year, Chris Buescher, in the 7T car, with Ty Gibbs and Todd Gilliland rounding out the top 20. Row 11 has Chase Briscoe and Alex Bowman. Row 12 has Allison Cindric and Mark Chick Jr. returning to Michigan for the final time in his Cup Series career. Row 13 has teammates Noah Gragson and Ryan Preece. Row 14 has rookie Zane Smith sitting alongside Eric Jones, with Justin Haley and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. at the top 30. And finally, the final 3 rows, Corey LaJoie and Daniel Hemrick, Jonathan Nemechek and Harrison Byrne, AJ Allmendinger, who will join Colleague Racing full-time in the Cup Series, racing that 16 ride, sits alongside Cody Ware, who will start in dead last. Here's a look at the odds to win here at Michigan. Teammates Hamlin and Truex sitting at the top of the board at plus 550. Those odds, by the way, are subject to change, so keep an eye on that. Kyle Larson sitting at plus 600, who has won here at Michigan 2 times in 2016 and 2017. Chase Elliott, his teammate, plus 800. Tyler Reddick and Blaney at 900 apiece. Keselowski at plus 1,000. And how about this? A 3-way between Logano, Bell, and the defending winner, Chris Buescher, all sitting at plus 1,200. Those are some very good odds for drivers that could have good chances at winning here today. Plus 1,400 for William Byron and Ross Chastain, 2,000 for Ty Gibbs. Kyle Busch and Bubba Wallace, 2,500 for each of them. Alex Bowman at 3,500. Suarez at 6,500, as well as Austin Dillon. Josh Berry at 8,000. And Eric Jones sitting at a whopping plus 10,000. So what can we expect here at Michigan today? Well, depending on the weather, we could see what we saw last year, and the race may be getting pushed back or even postponed. The rain could definitely affect on how the racing takes place. There is a good chance this race could be stopped halfway. We don't know, but we do know that rain more than likely will be a factor. We also know that the team, or should say the manufacturer that will be a factor, is Ford. They have won the last 9 Michigan races. The last time they didn't win was 2017 with Kyle Larson, who swept 2017, won both the races there at Michigan. But since 2018, it has been all Ford all the way. But you have to understand, a lot of the drivers that won in Fords were Stewart-Haas Racing, Clint Bowyer, Kevin Harvick, just to name a couple of drivers that won a lot at Michigan. But they're not there anymore. So who's stepping up to the plate? Well, I mentioned Ryan Blaney, who's starting up there in the 8th position. Joe Logano, that 22 team has been gaining some momentum. In fact, Ford as a whole has been getting a lot of momentum, but specifically that 22 team. I know we can't really judge with qualifying because it got rained out, but him starting in the 14th position, I highly doubt that's where he will stay. You also have to look at RFK drivers, Brad Keselowski and Chris Buescher. I won't be surprised if this is the type of race where we could see them be a surprise and show some speed. Also, look at the Toyotas. They have also been very, very fast. Mark Chick Jr., who finished second to Chris Buescher last year. He is obviously going to be another driver that's a key factor, plus 550 with his odds there, or at least the opening odds. So very, very good odds for him. We know that he's going to be a factor. At least I believe he will have a shot at having at least a very good run. And another team that we have to look at, not only is the Toyota drivers of Joe Gibbs Racing, mainly specifically Denny Hamlin and Mark Chick Jr., even Christopher Bell I will throw in there, although he's been kind of quiet, I think. We have to look at 2311 Racing because they have been on it. In the last 5 races, Tyler Reddick has had the best average finish out of all Cup drivers, and his teammate Bubba Wallace has had the 3rd best average finish of all Cup drivers the last 5 races. 23 and the 45 team have been on it in recent weeks. And again, I can't see why today won't be any different. Bubba Wallace, he has shown in the past that he can run well here. He won the pole here back in 2022, led a good amount of laps, and finished second to Kevin Harvick in that race. So we know he can run really good here. We know Tyler Reddick, we know how fast he can be. If it's not from mistakes last year that his team did, we know he can be fast. We know he could be a contender. So don't be surprised if we see 2311 Racing, both the 23 and the 45 have really good runs. They're starting 2nd and 6th, second and 5th, I should say, respectively. They could have very good opportunities, and specifically Bubba Wallace. This is a race where he has the opportunity to capitalize. Now, he does have some stiffer competition. Ross Chastain is starting right behind him. Chris Buescher starting a bit further back in the 18th position, but Ross Chastain right behind them. So that spot, those 3 drivers are going to be critical. And we can even throw in Ty Gibbs in the mix because Ty Gibbs, he's only 18 points above the cut line. That is nothing. So you look at Gibbs, Wallace, Buescher, and Chastain, 4 drivers, 18 points separating between 14th and 17th. I'm looking down at the playoff grid, but 18 points separates between 14th and 17th place. There is huge opportunities for that to be mixed up. And the team that I think has the best odds is Bubba Wallace. Like I mentioned, he has been one of the best drivers, most consistent drivers in the past few races. He's starting in 5th place. He knows how to run well here. He has run well here in the past. This is an incredible opportunity for this 23 team to really start to build a gap on the 17 and the 1 car. The thing that they have to do is just to finish the race. They cannot make mistakes because they have been prone to do that, whether self-inflicted by the driver or the crew or getting caught up in someone else's mess. They have to be able to just finish the race, get stage points, and be able to build that gap. Ross Chastain, on the other hand, is a different story. He is showing up today with good speed. He's got great speed this weekend, but that 1 car has not been there these past few weeks. They have been off. So I do worry about them. The 17 of Buescher, he's another driver I worry about, but not so much because we have seen speed out of that 17 car just show up randomly in recent weeks. So we know that they're capable of doing it. It's just, it needs to be more consistent. Bubba Wallace and that 23 team has been the most consistent out of those 4 drivers that I mentioned. Ty Gibbs, who started strong at the early parts of the season, has started to fall off just a little bit. So again, when I look at a race like Michigan, that is an opportunity for a guy like Bubba Wallace to really stretch out that gap on the points lead. And by the points lead, I mean the playoff bubble on the cut line. So with that, let's take a look at my Fantasy Live lineup. So I got Martin Truex Jr., I got Chase Elliott up there because Chevrolet has also been very fast, and the 9 car of Elliott, I mean, he has been incredibly consistent this season. I got William Byron, even though he has not been good in recent weeks. That 24 team has definitely fallen off. They have been prone to do that where they start off good and they fall off in the middle portion of the season leading up to the playoffs. But I don't know. I'm liking what I'm seeing out of this 24 team this weekend. So I got him in my lineup. I got Joe Logano, Bubba Wallace, and I got Brad Keselowski in my garage. Last year when RK Driver won, I don't know. I just have a feeling that 6 car, he can be sneaky fast. He could surprise some people, so I have him in my garage. But the driver that I do have winning, I do got Bubba Wallace winning. I like what I see of this 23 team, what they have been showing in recent weeks. They have been running really good across various types of racetracks. This is a track that they have ran well in the past, have shown success in the past. And I think with the 23 team, if they can just finish a race, have no mistakes, he can have a shot at winning this race. So I have Bubba Wallace taking home the checker flag and being officially the 13th entry in the NASCAR playoffs. But that's it for me. I know it's a bit shorter episode. We do have some stories we're going to talk about on Inside the Lines later this week, so be on the lookout for that. But let me know who you think is going to win in the comment section down below. Until then, sit back, relax, and enjoy the FireKeepers Casino 400 from Michigan. We'll see you right here for an episode of MDK Racing Victory Stop later tonight. But until then, my name is Jet, and thanks for watching.